welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. Greetings, blessings, salutations, and love once again. Welcome back to Talcott Tuesday, Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, and I am filled with love once again. Greetings to all of you tuning in, whether it's in the present time or a later time, whichever platform, even the restreams. Blessings to you all, sincerely. My heart is overflowing, and I've been overflowing with ideas and inspirations for a while. I was wondering, are there signs? Is there any sign for what I'm doing? Should I start early? Should I start on time? Should I do something different? How do we know what to do? Life's all 50-50, man. Life is 50-50. So chill out wherever you're at, as much as you can. Just please chill out and join with me here, because I never know what these live streams, which direction they're going to go. I never know who's going to click the link and show up. But I'm grateful for all that who have been. Today, part of my inspiration is I'm already thinking about the future. I've got ideas and things that I intend to accomplish very soon that hopefully we'll have some fun with. So today, from the scripture, James, humble yourself before the Lord, and he will exalt you. What I've found in my experience, truly, humility is the key to faith. That, you want to know how strong your faith is? Look how prideful you are. There's the contrast. That's the opposite. And I didn't know where to look. Humility is the key to faith and devotion. Devotion is important. Loyalty. Honor. The rewards of love and gratitude, they're available for those who seek. That's what I found. That's what I trust. So if you surrender to the Holy Spirit in the present moment of life to discover the benefits for yourself, allowing love to rule, allowing love to be the rule. And you know what? You free yourself. You really free yourself. God is so good. God is so glorious. This life we're living. I don't have a lot of notes. Like I said, I had a lot of ideas that will come forth. My faith is in God, God the Father who Jesus spoke of. I have faith in the Father of love and life because of what I've learned. And truly, the way of Jesus, being loving and kind, forgiving and strong, right? Being the balance of great things, it's really the only way we want to live. To stray from love, to be filled with unforgiveness, to be filled with judgment, it's insane. And I've lived a life of insanity. My life, man, it's an adventure that's still continuing. And brothers and sisters, thank you for tuning in, because I've been paying attention, and honestly, I don't know what to do different to gain different results. I noticed the subscriber count dropped again, below a noticeable threshold for me. And I'm like, holy cows, man. So that inspires me. It tells me it's Jack, you got to do something a little bit different. There's something that can be changed, something to adjust. And I see all sorts of room for improvement for this channel and this live stream. So for those of you who have been part of this adventure, God bless you. Thank you for your patience and trust. You know what? It's life, man. Have fun with life. That's the message I'm wanting to share. And there's no doubt Paul unslaved, proper instruction motivates people. That has definitely been part of this Talcottian adventure. I mean, hey, that's how a lot of the Talcott lore grew. So I don't know that he's going insane. Well, you were witnessing, I wasn't. I noticed he had one panel, and I've noticed that the people joining, I think people have grown tired of it, but I don't want to make a lot of assumptions. I tuned in briefly to Paul yesterday and this morning, and I like the guy. I didn't want to disrupt what is his flow, and I sure don't appreciate it when he disrupts my flow. But Paul's making some breakthroughs, and he's invited here and welcome here at any point he feels we can have adult conversations. But I actually want to congratulate Paul on some of the things I heard him realizing. Self-care. It's up to you to care for yourself, even if nobody else does, or even if they just pretend to do. It's up to you to care. Because if you don't care about you and take care of you, your inner space and your physical being, if you don't take care of that, well, you're wounded, you're broken, and you're not as good of a service as you could be if you were truly healed. I mean, the world we live in, it's so backwards and so confused. It's so poorly managed. How about that? The world is so poorly managed. The society is unhealthy. And the thing is truly the greater world is a result of a lot of individual parts and a lot of individual pieces. People haven't learned how to manage themselves because we live in a world where everyone's fighting for control. But I tell you what, the true power of God comes through you when you are of sound mind with a caring, compassionate heart. That's when life really starts, is when we become empty of ourselves and our worries and our battles, so that the essence of Christ may be lived through you, through your body, so that there's no space within you for corruption and unhealthy ideas and thoughts. There's no space within you. Your control of you. Leadership. This is something I know about. While I just need to be given the chance. But you know what? It is here. It is here and now. There is a team Talcott. We are growing. There's something magnificent happening in the world today, every day. And I know we're a part of it. My prayer is to become a greater part of what's happening in the world. And that includes you guys, especially you folks who are by documented evidence, the video, and you've been a participant in my past. So you're a part of this story. And this story of life that continues, truly the way I'm encouraging you. I don't like telling anyone what to do, which is a sign of a good leader. A good leader invites people to do what they have the capacity and ability, the responsibility to do. So I don't want to tell anyone what to do, but I invite you, for your own health and benefit, turn to God, the unseen, the unknown, the the creator that brings forth the day. It's been missing, the understandings and the relationships, and it shows through the relationships with people. But here's our first guest. I hope it's not a sick banana. You all right?
Yeah, I'm sick. Yeah, sick. It sucks. No bueno. No bueno.
Is it like flu-like?
Yeah, it's like strep throat a bit, runny nose, fevers, hot and cold. It's been the last 2 days. Want to see something cool? I bought this book, the Book of Aquarius. Alchemy, the Philosopher's Stone by Anonymous. Apparently you gotta piss in a jar and keep it for like 8 months or something. I don't know. I gotta read it.
It's fascinating. The idea of alchemy and some of the stories from the past. It's truly fascinating. And that book, I don't know it specifically, but enjoy. Hey,
Yeah, I haven't read in a while, so it'll be good to read a book again.
you know what? Good for you. If you're not feeling well, that's a great way to take care of yourself. Here's something I've been paying attention to, right? Leadership. Leadership is important to me. We've got piss poor leadership in all sorts of ways throughout America and the world, and that's why I care about leadership. What I hope to help people realize is their capacity to be a leader for themselves. The world we live in, it's all about control and domination. And so people have within themselves this mind that, and I'm speaking from my past, making assumptions that others are like me, but it's shown through their behavior outside. They're bossy, real controlling inside, judgmental. That's corruption. True leadership accepts responsibility, but moves forward with possibilities.
Have you ever watched Bob Proctor?
I'm a fan of his. Yes, that man
Yeah.
was amazing.
He does teach a lot about like you being in control of your own happiness, your reality and things. And I did like one thing he said. It was like, oh, if the whole world's crazy, how do you fix that? What, you send them all to the psychiatrist, or do you go to the psychiatrist? Is it the whole world or is it you? And you got to be in charge of your own happiness and your own mindset and create your own kind of reality. I don't know. I thought it was interesting. I was watching it this morning. One of his lectures.
Bob Proctor was an amazing teacher. And what he was teaching, his core teachings were based off of the fundamentals from, Napoleon Hill, the author of golly geez. Napoleon Hill was the author of some incredible books. Napoleon Hill is an interesting character in the past anyway. He studied from Carnegie and Ford and all these, corporate success people. He studied the philosophies of success, and that's what he wrote about. Bob Proctor's teachings were based largely on that, and he credited a lot of his work to that.
That's cool. That's like they're always learning from each other. That's what we got to do, but we all hate each other. That sucks.
You know what? What you pointed out, it's how it's been. And this is where I think my path is. My path and purpose is to help people love more often. The topic today, allowing love to rule. It's a choice we can make. But to love, it takes courage, takes bravery, and it takes some humility. I've been publicly humiliated, publicly mocked. I'm pretty sure God is using me, using us all. I envision sometime, and Banana, you're a creative guy. If you can find it within yourself, play with some ideas, and and if anything comes to you, the idea I have would be in line with and in support of biblical prophecies, right?
Yeah.
Returning in the clouds with the army of Christ. Here online with the web, we can unite together with a message and the intentions, and we can create a movement that transforms this world very quickly.
It sounded like you wanted me to do something, but then you beat around the bush there, Jack. What'd you want me to do? It sounded
Join
like
me.
you wanted me to create something or something.
I'm looking for support to help with connections. I'd like to speak with other people who believe that we can be a part of transforming this world, but people that are willing to cooperate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Working together. I'd love to. I envisioned actually, I've been envisioning success for a long time in a lot of different ways. But success for me, it includes collaborating, creating a team to share this live without fear message, to share a call to action for people around the world. Awakening, we become a part of the movement to awaken the world to the truth. We are the future. It's through us that the future is happening, and it's been prophesized that at some time there would be people and there would be a generation to bring the new world forward. There's a lot of dark conspirators who've been planning for a long time to this new world with further division, further oppression, further control and manipulation of humans. But I think we're the ones we have a chance, Banana, to be the ones to walk into the bankers and flip the tables on behalf of righteousness, on behalf of what is true.
Oh, I don't mess with the bankers. But I mean, I would love to get that money, but like personally, just because in my state, the government really protects the bankers like crazy. Like if you
That's
rob a bank,
right.
you end up dead. They don't even arrest you. You just end up dead in Arizona. They don't arrest you.
Banana, this is what one of the other several of the YouTube creators, I've been learning a lot. And you point things out and it makes sense. What you just said, Banana, the entire judicial system, criminal law system, the oaths of the attorneys and the judges, it's all to really protect the investments from the bankers. That's
A
all
lot of
that
it,
is.
yeah.
It's a bunch of bullshit. Nations and men and women are sent off to wars over these fabricated debts that were agreed to. And then it's a bunch of manipulation. It's an evil scheme to keep mankind divided and corrupted. But, Banana, my story is what it is. You can play whatever part you want in life. Took me a long time to realize that. That's what Bob Proctor and many others are teaching. is the fact that you can create your life. You can create your future into whatever it is you can imagine and accomplish. I've envisioned a world of I've envisioned a better world for us all.
I feel
And
like I feel like a lot of that too with the Bob Proctor thing is like he's he's saying, you know, kind of like you gotta be for your own happiness. It does seem like these problems with the world bring you like unhappiness, right? They bring you inner trouble, and then that creates these negative things, which you probably. What I heard today was he was saying 21 days to create a habit, basically, and I don't know if like he said if you do 21 days of a bad habit or bad thoughts, then that just becomes a habit, but eternally a bad habit. And I don't know. I know he was saying like we shouldn't be worrying or like too much about things. We should just be happy and live our lives in a weird way. But then again, it's like what you want to do and what makes you happy is kind of it seems to be reaching out and trying to help others find spirituality or something. So I don't know how I don't know how that goes into the Bob Proctor thing, but you know, like I don't know. I'm a little confused. I'm sorry. I'm sick. I'm dying over here. I'm still. I don't know if you can tell. I'm all sweating and dehydrated over here. But yeah, I just I think you gotta be more positive about the worldview. And when you're more positive about this worldview, after 21 days of solid positive thinking, maybe it will just become, like more positive, and you will send out those positive frequencies that he talked about, and that will create the change. Do you think we live in a holographic universe? Because I kind of do, but I don't know.
it's been explained that way in many different ways, and it makes sense. We're fractals of the one consciousness. We're thoughts within the mind of God. We are perceptions of timelessness, limited by our consciousness, by our minds.
Mm.
I'm not really sure what to offer. Hey, oh, okay. Thank you. The chat.
What
There was a
happened?
couple. There was a couple of comments here while you were talking that are these, I believe, are absolutely true, and it's spoken from the Bible. Jesus says, "Take courage, for I have already conquered the world." We are on the winning team. Our team has already won. The powers that were, right?
Mm-hmm.
The powers that were in blind control and ruling humanity, they no longer have control the moment we stop believing it. Julia, blessings. Thank you so much.
Well, what do you think of these like sightings of all these weird orby things, the drone things, and like these clearly like they're just balls of energy. Some of them like a news camera, like they got like $15,000 news cameras, right? Those big old things. Like they zoomed in on one of these things, and it was just a ball of energy orbiting and kind of like spinning and just doing this weird thing. And it was crazy because like the one of the ladies like had a phone, and she also caught the same thing, and she said the word Jesus, and it started vibrating like crazy. And then later on it like slowed down, and she said God, and it started going crazy again. It was like it was reacting to her words in a way. And even though it was super far away, apparently it was aware of her or something. But I feel like if we do live in a holographic universe or whatever, then our minds are creating these things, and if we keep creating these things, then we're probably going to break our little hologram, which isn't good. Maybe that's why the government tries to hide so many things from us, because they know our minds can manifest these things, and if we all start seeing them too much, we're going to start manifesting all kinds of crazy crap. And That's just gonna break the world or our minds, probably. Yeah, just snowballing. I've been heavy into physics and stuff lately. I got my balls of energy stuck in a black hole. Shut up, Dr. Ted. I was just reading a comment there.
I know. I'm a little puzzled by what to offer to you. You said a lot while you were snowballing, spitballing there. The I'm convinced. I'm convinced in. I'm convinced of many things from the past. In reference to the Bible, and God, and we are living through biblical times. The darkness, the prideful, the arrogant, the cruel, the evil, they've become more emboldened because, the game of celebrity and bankers and authority, they've been getting away with it for so long. So we're living at a time right now where there is a shift, and we get to choose every single day. As a matter of fact, every single moment. What are we doing? I know what I'm doing. There's been many people who've joined my experience in time, right? And I've received a lot of different my life has been an interesting adventure, and I'm continuing to seek others who want to believe that we can be a part of ending wars, bringing reforms into existence, right? Righteous reforms, I mean, where we take the power away from the liars and the oppressors. We take that power away and we distribute the power freely, right? Honestly, the power is truth. God is the truth. God is happening right now.
Well, I think everything's happening in every atom of our being. Like when you get down to the quantum level, I think everything's just happening at all times in every single atom. Like I don't know, it's weird. And then what I recently learned about black holes, because somebody mentioned a black hole earlier. You know how they send out this thing called Hawking radiation, right? So like when they suck something up, like they'll send out this radiation. It's like a wave. And so let's say if somebody got sucked into that thing, they get sucked into it, but they get encoded on this wave, and that wave gets sent out of the black hole basically after a certain point in Hawking radiation, which is crazy because I didn't know that. So like information, even information about us is stored in these waves, like these really, really weird little waves we can't see. And there, also I got this little toy. Hold on, I'm gonna go get it.
Please don't. Well, let me not be rude. Please continue.
All right, I'm back. All right, look at. So I got this little toy, right? This is cool. This is it's two magnets, right? Two magnets, and just a little metal coil, a little hand crank right here. No batteries, no nothing, just little wires. And you can just, do that, and you'll see the red light turn on. So basically, you're spinning this little coil, and the magnets creating a magnetic little thingamajiggy, and it's harnessing the power, the electricity that's in the fucking air. There's electricity in the air with the oxygen. Just gotta do this to harness it. Gotta know how to harness it. That's crazy. That's so cool. The little lights turn on. And it's no batteries, no nothing, just magnets. It's magnets, little coil. A little power put in by me, and voila, electricity. I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, just basic physics is kind of blowing my mind. The
Well,
ether. Yes,
I
the
encourage you to continue that path. Have you come across the work of Rupert Sheldrake yet?
no. What is he known for?
His theories on the morphogenetic field,
Mm-mm.
that our forms and bodies come from an infinite field of memory. And it makes sense. Our DNA is memory. Water contains memory. We are memories who are recreated. And there is an infinite field from our physical universe between the space. Not only is there air, but in between the air molecules, there's an infinite ether, right?
Mm.
A fabric from which all existence emerges. There's a unity and a singularity that is shown through science, through philosophy, through the physical world. There's a unity to this world and this
Mm.
human experience. I want to encourage you, Banana, continue your seek for knowledge. Humble yourself to how little you actually know. And then realize what are you exchanging to the world, because I don't know what the future is going to bring. Dr. D Head, you are kind of true. You're right. We can
What
only
did he say?
begin peace. He says you can't end wars. You can only begin peace.
That sounds
And
right.
in a way it is. Now, in my experience, I have an abundance of peace. I have an abundance of love. I have an abundance, and I want to share this with the world. I found my abundance of peace and love through learning. Knowledge is the gift from the gods. The world we live in tells us what to learn, what not to learn. The world we live in is created through ideas, literally. Ideas and agreements between people has created this entire world into what it is. So let's become the new ideas and let's create greater agreements. Here's another guest and brother to the channel. Welcome back.
Hey, what up, Hank?
Greetings, gentlemen. I like both of you guys. So
Yeah, I like Hank. He's cool.
Wonderful. Were you coming in with ideas or just joining? Good either way.
let's I did long about the rule. No, I don't have any new ideas. You know most of my ideas by now. So
I may have heard, but please don't assume. I mean, every day I know I discover they're not new ideas. They're ideas that might be new to me, or they're old ideas that I'll remember. Life, it's through our minds, brothers and sisters. But if we don't invite our heart into the discussion, our mind will be focused on what we don't want, what we don't like, what we don't have. But you bring your heart into the thoughts and allow yourself to feel grateful just for today. Feels good to be alive.
that it is.
Well, I think even with the toy, right? Like, remember, the toy here I showed you? Like, even with this toy, let's say the thoughts are the little spinny thing and, God is the electricity in the air or something. I still have to do this. I still have to spin it for it to do its thing. So I think that is part of that Bob Proctor thing too, where he's like, you take something that's in your mind that you really want, and if it means that much to you, you put it in your heart type of deal, and you keep it there for the 3 weeks, whatever, and make it a habit. But you also don't want to do that with bad things. But like, that's the whole turning of the wheel. You got to turn that wheel, just because those things are out there in the holographic whatever, doesn't mean, you still got to turn the wheel or else it's not going to work.
The universe rewards efforts. There's no doubt about that. And this idea of what you said, bringing this idea of what you want into your heart and really being connected to it. It's really that simple. Giving yourself permission. It kind of goes back to where I was talking earlier about being a boss or a leader to yourself. A boss will hold a lot of expectations and demands, but a leader will invite you. So invite yourself, give yourself permission to succeed, to achieve, to have a goal that, can I accomplish this? Nah, maybe, maybe not. Do I want to accomplish this? Better believe it. I've heard this tale said for those on the spiritual path. That was one of the requirements from the yogis. You must want the answers more than you want life. Allow yourself to find that goal for your life that you'd be willing to die in order to achieve. And make sure it's in service of others. And you can roughly assume that's probably God's plan for you. That's what I've been doing for myself. I've been convincing myself to be calm, to be grateful, to be honest. And I tell you what, I heard a debate earlier not a debate, I heard a wonderful discussion earlier today between Pine Creek and Jim Bob. And I think it was Pine Creek brought up a question he will ask. What is the benefit to obeying God? It creates a better world. It's as simple as that. Because if we obey God in the way that Jesus demonstrated and said, well, then we walk with love, we walk with faith. We're willing to be generous. We're willing to step out where others won't. I swear, I can't prove it yet. I've been following the teachings of Bob Proctor and many, many others about success and manifestation and achievement. It all comes down to what Jesus taught too. That's what's so amazing and incredible.
Do you think maybe Jesus was allowed to see like all the stuff beyond this realm that the rest of us see? But I mean, if that is the case, though, I mean, if I got to see all that stuff, I'd be walking around with all this peace and everything too. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like he did get privileges that we don't get. Like he got to see spiritual beings. He got to know them already, and probably even alien thingies too. Like he knew about everything out there.
So here's the thing, Ham Banana. You're an artist. You get to see spiritual beings all the time, and you get to interact with them. You get to reflect them into our world. So I don't think Jesus has special privilege you don't have.
Well, he had this weird like peace about the world, and he knew about the afterlife and everything. So, I mean, other people don't get that kind of peace. We're all questioning and wondering what's reality, what's real, and what people are trying to teach us. But they'd be like, well, if he was at the source and he knows the source, then I feel like he got a little bit more than we get. But I don't know. It's not important, I guess. It's harder for us to have faith, I think.
It could be important. I don't know. Maybe we just pray about it, or we just go look into potential afterlives, and we should look into that.
Yeah.
I kind of drifted into the chat for a moment, but One of the things I've truly learned is faith. The idea of any goal, any achievement, we've got to realize what the result will be. Because if we don't know what the result is, how do we know if we've succeeded? How do we know what direction we want? The result of faith, it's pretty simple and obvious. Your mind's not filled with worry. Your mind's not filled with doubts. You're comfortable in your being. And I was considering this thought earlier. My old days at work, how many workers are going through the motions of a job they don't really give a shit about. They're just there for a paycheck. How many workers are going through that, and how unproductive is it for workers to be filled with worries about debt, worries about, schedules or obligations outside of work? See, poor leadership has resulted in inefficiencies. In America, the capitalists like to, boast about productivity, but I tell you what, help me get a foot in the door anywhere. And I know love is the way to increase productivity.
Yeah, they don't want love in the workplace, though. You know that.
I know, because it hides. Without love in the workplace, then the selfishness is enabled. And this is where we've been deceived. The masses have been enabling selfish hoarding.
Oh, okay. So here's the thing: how the system set up works for the people in charge of the system. They think portfolio goes up, we're doing fine. So that's the mindset of the CEOs.
How do you guys feel about that dude getting shot? Whatever his name was.
Here, hold on, before we change. Nude Guru, you are one of the people who's been in my experience for a while. And for whatever reason, I've been really wondering about why I'm described the way that I am, why I'm not understood. And this statement, the idea you need and want leaders instead of being responsible for self, is where the gaslight has worked. I think you've confused yourself, Nude Guru, because I know you've been very promoting the self-sufficiency. I honor that. But it's in denial of what is happening. Okay? We can't pretend that this government system, the war machine, you can't pretend it's not happening. And we can't pretend we're not a part of it, that we're somehow above the corruption and stuff just because we're not. Brothers and sisters, we are in this life today. If you can't imagine the reason for why I say what I'm saying, that it's time for leaders to rise, it's time for people to unite together to confront the bosses, the selfishness, the corruption. It's time for men and women to lead ourselves into creating a better world for others. That's why I'm here, to be honest. It's my hope, at least.
Yeah, so here's what would happen if we said this thing to one of these just arrogant rich people. They'll say, well, I built my firm, and I tested it. We're doing a whole bunch of different things. I think I understand how to run it. But if you think you could do better with love, you go and set up your own firm and make your own money. That's what they'll tell you, Jack.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I would say too, honestly.
Who cares that you think they'd say, to be honest?
If you don't care what you think they'll say, then I understand what you're trying to communicate.
I cared what you were talking about, Hank. I cared about what you're
if you don't care what they'll say, you don't care what
Hank,
I would
these
say if I was
people
them,
are in,
then they're not going
Hank,
to have this conversation.
Hank,
They're just
those
trying to tell me what to
people,
do.
hello, those people are in your mind. So in your mind, you found people that disapprove of me, that don't want to listen, that want to tell me to do what you imagined they'd tell me to do.
All right.
I don't find that helpful, Hank.
All right. Then the only way they can listen is to be obedient to you, serve you, because serving you
Hank,
is serving love.
that's a
Hank,
false description of
Hank,
me. Please calm.
Then give me a true
Hank.
description of
We
yourself.
were doing so good, you guys. I feel like we slipped out of the mood there. We were all doing so
Hank.
good. Hey, Zatoichi.
Hey, what's
Welcome
up?
to Toy
Let
Chat.
me ask you, Hank, why do you wear that hat? Because in every medicine commercial that I see lately, there is a black guy wearing exactly the same
Oh,
kind of
shit.
hat that you wear. Biktarvy, the other there's two others, and there's always a black guy wearing a hat like you wear. Does it mean something?
They're trying to call out my image to sell you drugs, Zatoichi.
Yeah,
I
they're
don't
pandering to
understand.
the autistic black demographic.
No, I
you
I
know?
was seriously asking, is there a hidden meaning? Like back in the 80s, if you wore an earring in a certain
I
ear.
wasn't alive in it. I wasn't born to
Yeah, the
1991.
right was gay, the left was straight, I think.
Yeah,
Something like
I wasn't born in 1991, so I have nothing to do with the 80s.
Okay, but I'm just asking. I just wanted to know because I'm wondering if there's some hidden meaning why
Yeah.
they all have it in these commercials.
Yeah, they're trying to call out my image to sell you stuff. It's pretty simple.
Yeah,
Mm.
That's what he said.
marketing
All right.
101.
We solved that one.
Well, it is fascinating what happens in this world as far as selling people garbage. I mean, seriously, that's what a lot of our economy is. People are hired just to have a job, and we sell each other garbage, and then the advertisers tell us how wonderful it is as the industries, brothers and sisters, the world is so corrupted. We've got to do something. We get to do something. I don't know. I've got ideas, but apparently everything I say is.
Well, what are these ideas? Give us one.
Well, the goal is peace on earth.
Well, I know what the goal is, but how do you achieve that?
By speaking to the people who chose to involve America in it, U.S. Congress and the United States government, Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Let's have conversations with both.
Well, you can't have a conversation with Joe Biden because all you're going to get back is gibberish.
There's really no point anyway. He's on his way out.
That's not much different than what I find here. So I can deal with gibberish. I'll deal with the people who tell him what to do.
Well, that's like I said, I told my mother the other day, maybe I should work with retards because that's all I deal with on YouTube, so maybe I'm good at it. I have a way of explaining things to them that they understand.
Well, if you have a job, then you technically work with retards, anywhere.
Well, I don't have a job at the moment.
Oh, okay.
I would like one, but I need a hip replacement, so I'm kind of stuck. I can't walk.
That sucks.
I
think I'm getting a bad hip actually on my left hip. I don't know if it's my sciatic nerve or my hip, but I'm not sure. I'm too afraid to go get checked.
Someone's sharing something important with you, Jack.
Hey, thank you, Smith, for the contribution and update. 38 have died in school shooting this year. It's 338 days till Biden's 83rd, I'd assume, birthday. Please watch my new one tonight. Yes, please, folks, watch out for Smith. And if you want to drop your link, feel free to do so.
By the way, Jack, I'm just curious. Are you aware that there is a channel that used your voice using AI
I know there was an AI version of me on Paul on Slave's
Yes,
channel.
yes, that's what I'm referring to. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Pussy Paul needs to have the image of Jack to sell his narrative, but Jack's not playing it. So
Well, that's exactly what it was. It was the image of Jack, not Jack himself.
affirmative.
This life is fascinating. I appreciate that you caught that. Um, praise God. There's a story being unfolded with us all. And I've been wondering who in the hell scripted these characters? How in the hell did this get written into my life? Not just the characters, but the results of my past. Because I know who I am. I know how my time is actually spent. I know what is placed in my heart. I know what I believe I'm capable of if given a chance. And I think that's much like all of us.
It
But
is.
what I've learned is the common way we talk ourselves and we talk each other out of success. I've
I
faced
talk
it
myself out
before.
of success. I talk myself out of success every time. And then when I don't talk myself out of it, that's when I'm confident and I do things that people would say are okay, that like it's decent. Talking about like music, like when I have the feeling, the spirit, then I'm doing good and I'm okay. But when I don't have it, then it's just like a fucking shit show.
You ever take like ecstasy and then made some music?
Nah, I took ecstasy once and I didn't make music. I just went home and jerked off.
Oh yeah, that'll happen. If you don't have a girl around, yeah, you'll just be chatting.
This human experience is wild. The human story, it is so crazy. Something you brought up earlier, Banana. I tell you what, most people are like I used to be and maybe still am. We have no idea what knowledge is out there. We have no clue what other people have discovered or accomplished. We have no clue what other people have experienced. I'm thinking my neighbors. I know of them, but I have no clue, very little knowledge of anything they've experienced or learned.
Well, what if there is a God that is looking through the eyes of everything, even blades of grass and stones? It's seeing the world through that perception, that perspective. So everything, in a way, is captured because, your eyes, when you see, let's say, okay, you have a pet and you see the dog and you're interacting with the dog, but the dog is seeing you through its own perspective. And if you could see everything through both perspectives, you would see the complete picture of your perception and the dog's perception and the couch's perception and the floor. And then it all will probably make sense somehow. But we only have five senses. We only perceive what we can, get through these five fucking senses.
Yes. And individually, we're more limited than we might think. And at the same time, we've got far more potential than we might think. But we are all limited through our five senses, through our own perception. And this world, this life, there is so much knowledge. We could never learn it all in one lifetime. That's where the true benefit of wisdom, the path of wisdom, learn how to listen to each other. It's sincerely the key to everything.
Mm.
Because the more I started humbling myself, realizing how little I knew, Banana, I found in myself I found the benefits by paying attention to me and how I felt and what I was doing. There's so many benefits to be found just by finding any new topic. Find something new. I think I froze.
Yeah,
You
a little
did.
bit.
Find something new to learn. I think knowledge is God. Well, God is the truth. And then
Well,
we
God,
each,
God is ultimate knowledge. I mean,
yes. And if we unite together with different perspectives, you know, different life experiences looking at the same thing, we can find greater answers, greater understandings, especially when we learn how to love our enemies instead of hate them and despise them.
Do you love the devil?
I love the role it plays. I pray for its suffering to end, and I actually think this is the story that God's telling, is that mankind is corrupted and we fell, but God has faith in mankind and Jesus. So by giving us the example of Jesus, we're slow sometimes, but eventually we learn. And when we all live that way, when we unite together as brothers and sisters of truth, caring only about the truth, but with a love for what is true, when we unite together here on earth, there will be no space for evil and corruption. There will be no space nor time. It will not have any power. Why? Because we shine the light onto each other and we help each other's lights shine brightly.
But like in that, like if that does happen, there would be God, there will be the devil, and if we are everything, and then that means that part of us, you know, like part of us might be the devil, part of us might be God or something.
Here,
Do
I'm
we
gonna
have
take
to
a crack at this
forgive
one.
the devil? We have to
let
forgive the devil to be like
yeah,
whole, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take a crack at this one, Jack. So me, of course, because whatever devil I'm gonna run into is to be a reflection of me anyways, and I have a narcissistic streak, so of course I love the devil.
Okay. Do you love God, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I mean. Is like I feel like from that would be like both spectrums, right? Like both ends of the spectrum. And it's like if we can achieve something like that, where you know, love thy enemies, and it'd be like, well, what's a bigger enemy to your religion than the devil? And it'd be like, you know, you learn to love your enemies, then that would be
The devil
probably
is not the devil is not the enemy of God.
is he? I thought he
Anything
was
that
the enemy of like religion. Like I don't know, I'd misleading religions and stuff. But
There
I
is
might,
it's the
I might.
rebellious, selfish, manipulative, oppositional force that takes the light, takes the goodness, and manipulates it. Takes the light of knowledge and manipulates the knowledge into lies. We have the power within us. We are the filters, right? We receive the life force of light, the light of our life force, our breath. We receive light every day in the form of life, knowledge, awareness, consciousness. If we don't pay attention to what we're doing, then we just float through life.
Yeah, so in my interpretation of Christianity, the devil is pretty much the ultimate prosecution, and that's why they can reflect you right back to you.
Um, Here, I know, well, I envision, I don't want to explain it because some of the things would be controversial and distract the conversation, but there is only, life is 50-50. Okay. Every moment, everything, it's either true or illusion. It's either real or unreal. But we live in an experience where it could be a holographic, it could be described and explained as a holographic simulation of life. We're here to discover the truth of God, the creative and intelligent force who we are. That's the whole idea, is to realize you are the creative intelligent force who created you and the world you live.
Well, if you look at the Tibetan Book of the Dead, you know, I mean, it's like you have a chance to realize that you are the creative force, but if you cannot handle it, if it scares you, then you basically have to live another life, you know, and you have many chances to realize that you are the creative force. But if it's too intense, if it's too much for you, then you have to go through another lifetime where you express, you know, your deepest problems that you have with the clear light. So, for example, if my problem with the clear light is a sense of being alone, and I don't like being alone, then I'm going to live a life where I have to face being alone and get over it.
You know, I think you just described me. That's been the life I've lived, is pretty solitude. Even in relationships, they were
That
kind
might
of
be your purpose then, you know? It's
well.
not a great lesson to be learning, but I don't think any of the lessons we're here to learn on Earth are going to be very pleasant.
Actually, I found the bliss of solitude. This is where my inner peace flourished, where my faith in God has developed. It's in these periods of isolation. I know many people, that's what happens. We go on these journeys of isolation from those who we're familiar with or those who we love. And the purpose is for us to develop. But Banana, if I'm right about what I say, God is using me. And that means that it's very likely that I was wrongfully terminated. I believe that I was misunderstood and misrepresented when time with my son was taken away. So I'm living a bizarre adventure where, despite what has happened in the past, despite the data, right? Even the subscribers are dropping, the number of views are down. Jack's failing. Well, I believe God is using all of us for a greater purpose. And I have learned how. Humble yourself before the glory of the Lord. Humble yourself to the glory of the day. Humble yourself to all the
Well,
gifts of life.
you know what Charles Manson said, and it is the most. No, I swear to God, it sounds funny because Charles Manson said it,
Charles
but
Manson, yeah,
but
that's why I was like, okay. But,
no,
sorry, I'm sorry.
I think about this every single day because it's completely accurate and it fits in with a Hindu philosophy. And he says the only thing that's real is now.
And it's correct.
Yeah, the
And
present moment is the only thing that we have that's real.
yet, correct. And yet everything that happens will be eternally recorded.
Yeah, probably.
Through time.
The Akashic record, you know.
We are a part. This can be explained in so many different ways. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. The science and spirituality, despite the disagreements by the religious, there's a consistency to the spiritual mystic nature of the different beliefs. We are at a time right now, due to the advancements in technology, communication, we have the chance in this lifetime to change the world. I'm convinced of it, that is our purpose. all of us. We are changing the world, but this is a confusion. The limited mind focuses on the small world, only the immediate results. The eternal spirit, the long game plan, I truly believe. Here's the reality. I make claims that I understand leadership and I understand how to get things done. What I failed to accomplish was a chance. That includes with coaching. That includes with my my past employer termination stuff. When I get a chance, guys, well, we are part of something great. We're a part of the eternal story that was recorded in many different ways.
Oh, don't worry. This shit's being recorded.
And the truth shall set us free. And I see a day in the near future. I don't know the day. I'm not making any prophecies or anything, but as it said, there will be a day. The delusions and the confusion the veils of confusion will fall away.
I think they're starting to already.
They are.
Well,
And a lot of people are emotional and reacting to what the world is showing them because it's hard for people to realize they've been living a life in lies.
Well, look
They've
at
been living-
Luigi Mangione. You know, he killed the CEO, and people are raising $100,000 for his legal fees because they believe in what he did. You know, like if the legal system fails, if the system fails, somebody took action and made the country aware of the issue, and they sacrificed their own, you know, life of privilege to do it, which is, it's kind of cool in my opinion. I'm sorry, but I'm on his side a little bit.
Yeah, that's how I felt about Nicholas Cruz.
Who?
Tell me, just a joke.
Yeah, I
Who's
can't
that?
endorse.
Just another murderer, you know, just another murderer.
Yeah, I can't endorse murder for
Yeah,
legal reasons.
yeah,
I can't
that's
endorse it.
stupid. I mean, no offense. I get that it's cool, you know, whatever, but, you know, to be like, hey, I murdered somebody because what? It would be like that guy. If that guy shot Donald Trump, you know, it'd be like to a lot of people, he'd be cool. He'd be the coolest guy in the world. To
Yeah,
all the
not
other
me.
people, you know? Yeah, not you. I know, but you know, exactly. That guy is not very cool to me that murdered that CEO guy just because he's a murderer of somebody he thought was doing bad things. I mean,
All I know is that something needed to be done, and something was done, and it got the result that it was intended to do. You know, he wasn't. I see people get murdered every day by the Mexican cartels over $15 worth of drugs that they stole. You know, like, and they get murdered horribly. This guy had an ideology, and he went with it, and you know, and it achieved results in a way. So there is a good side of it that came out of it. That's all I'm saying.
what was the good side of it? What
The good
came
side
out
of it
this
is that
was good?
it raised the national debate about the bullshit that these people have been pulling for the last 30 years and killing innocent people by denying their medical claims when
And
they have no money to pay for their own health care.
Okay, so besides the murder, besides the violence and the discussion, what is the end goal?
Well, the end goal is to achieve some kind of balance between corporate America and the individual person.
Mhm. Right. Do you understand what I'm doing? What my goal is?
I don't know.
You might have to kill somebody then, Jim.
Jack, you might have to kill someone to end wars.
Yep.
So you don't know what I'm focused on?
Look, I'm just saying, I thought that what he did had a positive result, and that's all.
I know. I know, and you're gossiping. You're talking about other people that aren't here. I'm asking you about me and my
All right.
experience.
Listen, I gotta go, man. They're calling me
All
downstairs,
right.
and I'm making dinner for everyone. So I'm
All
sorry.
right.
I'll be
Blessings
back
to
if I
you.
can. Yeah, man. Nice seeing you. Nice seeing
You as
you,
well.
Hank and Banana. Hank, stop being so fucking mean to me.
I think you've been playing too much Metal Gear Rising.
Hey, Nude Guru, here's where clearly I think our disagreement comes. Government is the people. That's the point of it. Acts as a scapegoat for the masses to blame instead of focus on their own responsibility. Works like a charm to the benefit of those who exploit. Here's what I don't. Eventually, I'll find other people who are like me, who recognize that ignoring problems, pretending that it's someone else's problem. I actually feel involved in what the world is today. My history is what it is. I took oaths in the military. I was a government employee. I might actually still even get a little, some breadcrumbs in the future when I hit retirement age. But this is where I'm frustrated. Zatoichi wants to commend and support a guy who murdered another human being to bring the corruption to light. I'm saying we have more than enough evidence of the corruption. It's up to us to do something about it. And that's literally what I'm hoping to accomplish. I don't get it. Welcome,
Hi,
Isaac.
Much love.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think murder's the right way to, start a movement like that. You might as well be the damn Joker. Feel like we're just gonna murder all the rich people.
I honestly
Kind of
never
terrifying.
I honestly never thought God would make it so challenging for me to find support in the goals that I'm real life, literally trying to pursue. Is there anything I can offer to you guys to believe that you can be support or that these ideas are worth pursuing?
I feel like we're giving you support every time we're here, and you're offering us a place to express ideas. And I'm surprised you don't notice that, Jack. We're kind of doing the things. We're doing the thing right now, Jack.
Yeah.
Here's okay. Let me point out a blind spot.
Mm-hmm.
The ego, the tendency of the selfish ego, it thinks its mere presence is of value. And I'm not saying that's what you think, that you're bringing value just by showing up.
No, I meant by having conversations and expressing thoughts back and forth and, sharing ideas. That brings value.
Right. You're not talking about anything I say.
Well, I've been trying to. We're making our best effort to talk about something you're saying.
Hank, I know you guys can do better.
How do you know that? How do you know that?
Because I feel like Isaac could do better, and we're not acknowledging Hank. Let's turn this on Isaac.
Let's go.
Isaac, what have you done to help Jack?
My mere presence is a miracle.
There you go. See?
I'm just kidding. No, honestly, I don't know. I find resonance. I find the fact we could grow in conversation and not like harm one another with our words. I find we could grow. And well, I don't want to dive too deep. I know. I don't know. I don't want you put me on the spot. It's harder. I like to flow naturally.
Sorry. I was on the spot. And
can you please yield for a moment? Fuck.
Yeah.
I know you guys may not pay attention to what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
I know I get a lot of feedback, and Nude Guru, is delegating responsibility away to this thing called a government an act of responsible or neglect of responsibility? I have my view. I'm open to yours here. I suggest that ignoring the problem is abdicating responsibility. I know that the problems of the United States government funding the murder and genocide of innocent people in Palestine, it's not something we should just pretend isn't happening. Okay? So the other part of this is I'm thinking of not just people like us. I'm thinking of those in nations other than America. Okay? I'm thinking about the Uyghurs in China. I'm thinking about the people who are brainwashed and oppressed in North Korea. Hell, let's fix the oppressed and brainwashed here in America. That's literally what my goal is. Why don't you guys seem to care?
I do seem to care. I do care. And when I research what they're thinking, what they're saying, when I bring it to you, you get frustrated because they don't immediately understand your message and cave to you.
Remember when I told you earlier, Jack, you can't send the whole world to the psychiatrist. You can only go yourself, right? You can't hold us responsible for your happiness, and we're clearly not making you happy. You're holding. You see
What
how
are
you're.
you? Hold on.
You're holding us responsible.
No. You're not going to continue your rambling. You're very good at it. You're very good at your manipulation bullshit, man. What you said, I realize you're not responsible for my happiness. You're not responsible for anyone but you. And Banana, you've been far less helpful to me than you've convinced yourself of. He's gone now. He chose to leave. So, hey, I see your excuses in your question. Would these atrocities happen without the participation of the masses? If you look closely, you'll see it's the masses doing this abuse unto each other. Great. More blame? I mean, what's the point of blame? People use blame as an excuse. I've faced that excuse many times. People want to blame me for what they think. And I think this is what God is doing, because we're reflections of each other. We're reflections of God. And if you look at history, my life is part of history. I turned my back on God. I didn't trust God. I didn't believe in God because of what other people did. Great. Good for you, Nude Guru. Keep being right. Whatever. What comes up for you, Hank? I mean, what do we do now?
So I'm willing to pick up blame for stuff I'm clearly have no responsibility or authority for, just to make other people feel better. And that's why I love the devil so much.
Okay. So what do I do with that? What now?
Do what you want with it.
What did you want for me to do with this?
I wanted to have a conversation. But if you're not
Okay.
interested in conversation, I can talk to someone else. It's not a big deal.
What are we talking about? I'd love to have a conversation, Hank. Let's fulfill your desires. What would you like to talk about?
Oh, so yes, let's go back to talking to all these power player move makers, ultra rich people, and their desires and goals, and how it doesn't align with your desires and goals. Let's talk about that.
Your opinion that their desires and goals don't align with my desires and goals? Why do we want to deal with hypotheticals?
Oh, it's not hypothetical at all. Because you're
What?
still saying they're not listening to me, they're not paying attention to me, they're not doing what I want,
Who?
Jack.
Okay.
You said that today.
Mm-hmm. That includes you.
So
I don't feel like.
It's not hypothetical. Then it's happening right now, Jack.
Okay, but the people you were referring to, Hank, the topic, when I asked you, what would you like to discuss? You made the claim that you wanted to have a discussion with me.
Yes.
So then when I.
You're saying, why are you saying it's hypothetical when you're saying it's also happening right now? Get in there now, please.
Okay, Hank. How do I communicate with you so that you understand me? I've understood that you feel confused by me, that there's something that prevents you from, I don't know what's preventing you from anything, Hank.
You're incomprehensible to me. I'm putting a lot of effort. I probably put at least,
okay.
how many hours I put just on panel?
Understand.
Probably at least 50 hours just on panel with you, and I'm
Hank,
still not getting it. But
right.
It's my fault. Well, I'll accept it's my fault,
Hank,
and I have no idea what I can do about it.
Help.
Other than squash my own
You're
ego and just
complaining.
pretend to believe everything you'd say.
Hank, help me figure out, what do you not understand?
Okay. What I don't understand is why I need to offer my ego to you so I can understand what the hell you're trying to communicate to me. Because I use my ego as a shield. It's how I protect myself from being mind controlled by people.
Right.
But you're saying I should just offer it to you.
Okay.
That doesn't make any sense to me. People abuse me
the way you
once I gave
described
them my ego.
Hank, the way you described it doesn't make any sense, because I'm not asking anyone to give me their ego. I'm asking you to safely, where you are, put your disbeliefs and your ideas, your distracted thoughts aside so that you can understand what I'm saying.
I don't understand the difference between those two things. That's my confusion.
Hank, I get what you're pointing at, but please try to understand that which inside of us prevents us from understanding, that which the fear is from. That's the ego. So here's the deal, Hank. You do know what I'm saying. You do understand what I'm talking about. What to do with that? You've been asking me to help you with that, and I don't know what to tell you.
And that's the issue we need to get to.
Well, it's our ego that doesn't think for itself. It's the ego that prevents us from thinking for itself. And Hank, this is nothing against you. This is an observation in my experience. I've tried telling people what to do. I've tried hiring people. I've offered generous incentives for people to help me accomplish what I want. But the ego mind, it doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, the ego is the shield and the id is the sword. So I agree with your model so far.
Thank you. What I found is, look in your heart, and if you want to believe something that is righteous, if you want to believe that, here's something I'd like you to consider, that our pasts brought us together. We've been learning how to communicate with each other, and we've both been developing ourselves. But I truly believe, Hank, that through me and people who I can think of, let alone who you might be able to think of, I believe we have the opportunity to become a voice that is heard so that wars end. And the new kingdom of God, the new kingdom here on earth, it starts coming into being through us. I believe this is God's story. Please join me. If you believe, you can. I'm sorry, Hank.
So I think you left the conversation. You left the conversation, ran on a sermon. I want you to talk to me.
I was talking to you. I'm sorry.
I felt like you left the conversation. Just go back. Give back your talking points.
You imagined me as giving a sermon, and that's why you chose to dismiss what I was saying.
But so why are you dismissing what I'm saying? I'm going back to my feelings. You're telling me that I shouldn't acknowledge my own feelings and just accept what you say.
How do I communicate what I want to say without you dismissing it as being a sermon?
You talk to me instead of going into your talking points.
Okay. Well, Hank, real simply, I believe that God is using me, that my life has been preparing me to get in front of the people in Washington, D.C., or the UN, or wherever it may go. But I know for a fact the world becomes safer when secrets are no longer legal. And if you can believe it, people haven't explored what I offer.
Why are you doing this again? Why are you doing this again?
What am I doing, Hank?
You're going back into your talking points instead of having a discussion with me.
I'm discussing real life.
You're discussing your beliefs.
Is there a problem with my beliefs? In my explanation for my life? Is there a problem?
Yes. I'm having, because you're invalidating other people's beliefs, Jack.
Please be specific. Nope. Please, Hank. You're
invalidating my beliefs to overwrite of your beliefs. That's specifically what's happening right now in this moment.
Okay, you may feel that way, but you've offered forth no specifics, no facts. What do I change? Where? How do I
trying to change my beliefs so I don't have them, and I substitute your beliefs for my own beliefs.
Hank, that's a narrative you're making up.
Yes, it is. But it doesn't count when I have it, but it counts when you have it.
Hank,
so, yes.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to have a conversation with you, but you refuse.
Are you?
Are you? Yes, that's why I'm here. But you're trying to walk away from it. You're trying to walk away from the difficult conversation you need to have with these world leaders.
Hank.
You're unwilling to have it with me.
Hank.
Yes, that's the name I'm going by. You refuse to have this conversation with me, but you expect to be able to do it with these world leaders who are arrogant, self-important, pompous.
You are behaving that way.
Yes, I am. But I'm supposed to believe that you'll convince them when I can't get to the thing where you want me to go.
You know what, Hank? I've been patient. My patience is exhausted. You are not them, Hank. You're not powerful. And you're not thinking like them. You're not even fucking thinking. You're not here. You're blaming me of refusing as I'm sitting here doing nothing. I've been politely trying to figure out how to communicate with you, Hank. Are you unable to see what is happening?
I just told you yes, and you're not listening to me. You're not listening when I say yes.
What if I am listening to you? And what if here's what I know. Can't, especially in this situation, Hank, is a will not. You're just refusing to understand at this point.
Then you're just trying to overwrite my ego and will.
Why do you believe that?
Because that's what's happening right this instant.
In your mind.
Yes, does my mind count or not?
Okay,
Or
tell
does
you
your mind
tell you
count?
what, Hank, go keep your old beliefs then. I don't give a shit. I don't have to convince anyone, especially you, Hank. You're not in a position to do anything. So for you to sit here getting emotional, placing these demands on me, grow up. Brothers and sisters, I think I'm about done. My purpose, the topic today, allowing love to rule. I don't have to obey you, Hank. I obey that which is true, and that which is true you don't have to be convinced. If you're not willing to understand, I'm not the one to blame. So, yeah, hey, thank you for your support too. You are not honest about having a holy cows, dude. I want to dictate to you as I ask you to listen.
Yes.
Okay. How do I change the appearance so that here?
You stop it.
Thank you for the
You stop it.
contribution.
That's
Okay,
how.
I'll stop. I'll offer you nothing more, Hank.
Excellent.
Great. Then go entertain yourself on someone else's stream, please.
I'm okay with that, but if you're not going to be honest about what you want to do, then no one can help you. Please understand.
Yep. And again, you're fabricating some narrative, no specifics. You just want to accuse me of being a liar. I'm sick of being falsely accused, Hank. I've been patient. Please go elsewhere.
There's plenty of specifics. I mean, this moment now is specifically what I mean. But you're saying, well, it doesn't count because of your feelings. What about other people's feelings, Jack? Do they matter? Do they matter to you at all?
Do my feelings matter?
Well, yes. I asked, does your feelings matter and does my feelings matter?
Yes, Hank. I believe both of our feelings matter. But you have been so concerned with you clearly don't give a shit about my feelings. And that's not a very good friend. I've received a lot of people pretending a lot of things here online, pretending to be better than me, pretending to be my friend, pretending to be supportive. I pay attention. I don't lie. I know who is and is not in my corner. And I know the lukewarm ones, the ones that put on the false appearance. This is what Jesus was talking about, man. This is what God's talking about. You can go through life pretending to know, pretending to be so important. You can pretend to be better than everybody. I get accused of that. I know I get accused of that, but my words are honest. I'm being honest. I'm not being insulting. I know I'm not better than others. I know others aren't better than me. I know that we can understand each other when we get rid of our arguments, our disagreements, our judgments. When we actually care, we understand. Hank, thank you again for your contributions. When you stop fighting against me, when you stop projecting onto me, you'll help me break the patterns. You don't see any benefit in me either, do you, Nude Guru? You guys are so fucking unbelievable. You guys are unbelievable. Some of you critics and naysayers, all of you who want to bet against me, holy cows. You know what? Allowing love to rule. I'm gonna separate myself. Hank, I'm fighting no one. I'm encouraging you, stop fighting me, stop blaming me, stop trying to get back at me. You're becoming just like Chuck, and Chuck's just like Paul. Paul's just like Margot. Margot used to be. Hey, Nude Guru, please. My patience with you is about done, especially after seeing some of your comments about me elsewhere. I'd appreciate if some of you took a break from my life, but you get to do what you do, and I'll continue to do what I do. And brothers and sisters, I do know that our God, the Lord of life, the Lord of love, is with us all here in the present. And I trust, I don't need the approval. I don't need the approval or disapproval from anyone to live the life that I'm living, nor do you. You don't need anyone's approval or disapproval to live the life that's for you. But I tell you what, if you don't care, if you don't care about others, you're not caring about yourself. I know I care about others. New Guru, your regular comments, you have wisdom, but your selfishness corrupts you. I've received. You're one of many. That's what the ego mind does. It overinflates its value. And maybe I've done that myself. Maybe I should walk away from this YouTube stuff. I don't know. I know there's others who actually do care. I know there's others who actually do find some positivity and some inspiration from my efforts. So those are the ones I really care about. The ones who care, I care. I'm going to wrap it up here. Brothers and sisters, Tommy, it's too late. Brothers and sisters, thank you again for all who tuned in or joined. We will see what the future brings. Allow love to rule. It's worth it. Till next time, choose love, peace for everyone, live without fear. Whoops. God bless.